You've caught me post a bad stick and puck session with 8-year-olds, so hopefully next time we record, I'm feeling better about myself.
Welcome back to Good Stick Gossip. This week we find hosts Gio and Ray getting ready for hockey season with a discussion of their favorite players on summer vacation, bringing chants to the PWHL, and of course, more women's sports in Seattle. In this episode, the two get a little more personal. Gio shares his journey of learning to play hockey, and Ray makes a surprising confession prompted by this week's interview. Sam from Alaska joins us today. She started playing hockey as a goaltender at age 37 and is here to recruit you to do the same. To jump ahead to our interview with Sam, check out the show notes and the timestamp.
Hi, I'm Ray. I use they, them pronouns.
Hi, I'm Gio. I use any pronouns. Oh my god. We didn't know last time. Did you see that the third Kraken jersey is coming out on September 4th?
No.
Which is also the day, this doesn't relate to hockey at all, it's also the day that a highly anticipated video game is coming out that I've cleared my whole schedule for. So it's September 4th is a really exciting day. Probably by the time this comes out, September 4th will have come and gone. But
are you taking the day off?
Actually, that day I have like a dentist appointment, and then like I have maybe the first like session of flute choir, but the next day, Friday. That's why I was like, you asked me for my availability. I was like, nothing on Thursday and Friday. Gotta clear that schedule for Silksong.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
I'm keeping that.
Okay. But yeah, the Kraken's third jersey, they've been teasing it on social media, and I've been led to believe that it has a glow in the dark element. And the hype videos have been really cool. So I miss them. I just want them back.
Well, I'm going to my baby boys first.
Oh yeah,
Thunderbirds
are going. Yeah, I've also been seeing that.
It pays to like the minor leagues because they start earlier than NHL.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Tickets are like $13 if you want to come with me.
I think probably, yes. I'll go look at the schedule. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Were we going to talk about the league as a whole, or was I going to basically say there's nothing to report? We don't need to talk about it.
We don't need to talk
about
it.
Yeah, there's really nothing interesting going on. The only thing that's going on is I just keep seeing really cute photos of all my favorite players on their summer vacation, basically.
I know you came to talk to me. You were at my house, I think, on my birthday, and you're like, yeah, I just keep seeing these pictures of Joey on vacation in like whatever, like Europe. And I was like,
I feel like he's in Italy, but I looked closer at his, I think he's just in Arizona, but he's just like these beautiful sort of panoramas of just like green sprawling vistas. And I'm like, oh, good for you.
Like, it was so funny when you told me because it was so out of context for me. And I was like, do we know a Joey? Who's Joey? And then you were like, Joey Decord. And I was like, oh, hockey. Now I'm on the same page.
He has a great social media presence, and he's clearly enjoying his off time. So I don't know if he was in Italy, but he's definitely in Arizona. Also, all the players, they love to golf. I've been seeing a lot of golf pictures. I've been seeing the cutest little pictures of Kirill Kaprizov, who's my number one sweetie cutie in the league. There's a video of Montour playing like a cup juggling game today. It's just like, so I'm just like, oh well, we're just waiting for hockey to start. And I do see a lot of the PWHL players though doing good, engaging with the community. Mm-hmm. So that's nice to see.
They're building up their
they're
rep.
Doing camps, they are meeting with kids, they're signing stuff, they're going to the touristy places. I cannot wait to get to know them. Like, it's
oh yeah, I think I was telling Court, or maybe I was telling you, that after the games, like after the PWHL games, we're going to have to like disperse to all of the potential bars we think that they might go to. And then like in the group chat, when they start to show up, be like, okay, it's, they're here.
No, I can't participate in this.
Why not?
No, I can't.
Well, that's unfortunate because I'm going to do it without you. There's enough people on these season tickets that we all got together that we'll do it. We'll go without you, boo.
Yeah.
And then we'll text you pictures. I'll be out here with Hillary night. Don't you wish you would have stayed for this?
I'm like turning red and embarrassed.
Yeah, you are. It's
just sitting
really
here.
Funny.
No, we can't do that.
Why not? I want to be friends with the players.
No, that's not how it works.
That is how it works.
No, I'm just excited to get to know them like I got to know the Kraken boys.
Oh, okay.
Like, I just like want to know.
away.
Yeah, from far away. I would like the mic'd up videos that the PWHL puts out are just so good.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so fun. So yeah, I think at this point, now that I've been seeing the game from the players' perspective, I'm more excited for the PWHL season than the NHL season, which is crazy because I was NHL obsessed last year, and I still am gonna be. I find everything that goes on in that league extremely compelling.
You are sitting in front of me in a Seattle Kraken shirt.
This is my.
And I also almost wore a Kraken shirt to do this recording with you.
It was a coincidence. This is the one I got for work because, as you know, I have like a dozen. This one I'm okay with getting dirty. Anyways, I'm still gonna be all up about the NHL, but I'm already really quite taken in the heart by the PWHL and just, experiencing the vibe of women's hockey myself versus the vibe of playing with the boys. I want to play playing with the literal boys in women's hockey all day. Oh, also, I'm getting into the Storm. This is an update. There is more room in your heart. There was more room in my heart for more women's sports. I think that officially next hockey off season, I think the WNBA is going to be what I follow. Because I went to another game in person, and I'm planning to go to another one shortly. And the one that I went to in person went to double overtime. And all it takes is one thrilling game to like hook you. I think that's what happened with the Kraken too. And now I'm like, I know vaguely who the players are now. And then I watched a game on TV like a couple days after that. So
yeah, so I'm going to go to a Storm game also. And I have not been to a Storm game since it was at the Key Arena, which I don't even know if you've lived here long enough to remember when it was the Key Arena. And then they like did that whole transition, and now it's the Climate Pledge. But so I'm like really excited to also go to a Storm game. I can't say that I'm also going to fall in love with women's basketball, like, or the WNBA or basketball in general in the way that I think you are kind of. But I did, if I can like digress, since we're still like waiting for hockey to happen, I do have kind of a funny story about women's sports that happened to me this summer, if you want to hear about it, Gio.
I do.
Okay, so a friend and I got tickets last minute to go to a Reign Games, which is Seattle like women's soccer, and I've been to Reign Games before, and we like went, and we actually didn't know that it was Pride Night. I tried to convince this friend. They were just like, oh, I think it's Pride Night. Like, look at all these like queer people here. Like, look at everything that's happened. I was like, no, women's soccer is like just this gay. And then at halftime, they did a halftime show with drag queens.
And it was Pride Night.
And I was just like, I had to really be like, I'm so sorry. I did not try to like gaslight you. I really just was like, women's soccer is like obvi this guy all the time.
I think you're partially right. I feel like there's a grain of truth to that. However, I think I've only been to 2 Reign Games, and one was Pride Night. So
yeah, it was like so gay. And I really just like the whole time was like, no, it's just like always this gay. And then also just like as a side note, I really need to go back to a Storm game, not because I like am in love with women's soccer now, but because we sat in the section where they do all the fan chants, and they had an amazing fan chant about like the ref not paying attention to the game, and I was so excited about it at the time.
Do you mean Storm or Reign? Go back to the Reign game.
Thank you for correcting me. It was a Reign game. Yeah. I have not been to a Storm game yet. I will be going.
Oh, this is your first Storm game that you're going to?
No, it's my second Storm game.
Second.
It's
you just said.
I like haven't been for a really long time. Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, the fan, when I've gone to the Reign Games, so the gay flute choir that I'm in?
Yes.
So a different part of that gay band organization does the band music at...
we were sitting right in front of them.
Yes, that's them. That's them. That's some of my friends.
We know. I was like looking back, and I was like, I wonder how many people know Gio. I'm just going to start asking.
No, they're fantastic. And I think between the band and then also the person who like leads the chants and stuff, if it's the same person, maybe not.
Wait, do you know these people?
No, I don't know the people who lead the chants, but they were just doing it very effectively.
No, they do a great job.
And the fan section is really, really cool.
Yeah, so. And they had like you had like there's like a QR code and you could like scan it and then you could like get all of like the lyrics to all the chants that they were saying. But they didn't have the referee one that I really want to learn. So I want to go learn that and then bring that to women's hockey.
Oh God,
that's how I circled back.
I'm
to
actually,
hockey.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see because I've been, I've been lightly following PWHL fan culture, and there seems to be a lot of like specific chants for certain players and like some development of that. People like wanting to intentionally sort of like make it happen, and it's gonna happen here. So,
and I want to be a part of it. I want to be like,
you want to be part of it. I wonder how those things sort of like organically spread, like. How is there a coordinated effort to like learn chants for specific players?
Well, let me tell you, I'm loud, so I will be effective.
So you will be part of the movement.
Well, that's what I hope.
With the chants, yeah.
If I can learn this fan chant about how they can't see it, it's amazing.
Yeah, okay. I see you doing that. I can't bring myself yet to participate in the "Boo, you suck."
I know. I think I got you to
at
boo
the Thunderbirds
refs,
games
once, and I was so proud of myself that I was like, "Gio, just boo the ref." You're so nice, SBG.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, loving women's basketball. I'm it was obvious that I was gonna like women's sports, and I do. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It looks weird when men play sports now.
Yeah.
That's how I felt after the PWHL takeover day, where I entered an alternate reality and then went back home to watch a Kraken game and was like, what the fuck? But there's room in this city for the Kraken and the PWHL team to hopefully support each other and be embraced by the city just like they embraced the Kraken. So I hope it's more than just women and people with daughters and queer people who want to go to I hope that just like the greater basketball community goes to the Storm games is the same way with the PWHL games.
I think it's gonna be.
I really think it's gonna be. I'm when does the season start? Like it's like devastatingly late or something. Like it's November.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I can't find the information. Although I was doing some research and I found a website that has a countdown clock for the first like PWHL game in Seattle.
How do they know?
I don't know. It said 100 days. I was looking at it today.
100 days. That's 3 months.
And just for the recording, it's August 20th right now.
August, September, October, November. It is November.
Well, I don't know if that's right because we are season ticket holders and I don't have dates yet.
Yeah, I think that I think November is correct because isn't that when it started last year? Well, we can fact check, I guess.
We're not fact checking. I already told you I'm not fact checking us.
Well, I admit I wasn't following the PWHL last year because
I wasn't.
I didn't have time and also didn't have a team, and now I do. And that's really exciting. So, are we missing some topics?
I'm not ready to move on because I want to know if you know about this.
Okay.
Speaking about Joey,
yeah, I
recently found out that. Have you heard of this thing that apparently happens sometime earlier?
Oops, all goalies?
Oops, all goalies! Yeah. Oh my god! I feel like you told me about it, but
yeah, why? I definitely
you
said
definitely
something.
Did.
It didn't hit. It didn't register.
But I just found out about it again,
so cute
and I
funny.
just was like, oh my god. And Joey was there and he like did the puck drop and it was so cute, and I was like, I really felt like I feel like Gio told me about this, but it just didn't hit. So
no, it's adorable. Also, I feel like I've told you this before, but Joey comes from like a goalie family.
You did tell me that, yes.
And that his family has like a
goalie training
camp,
right?
goalie training facilities. And I think that's cool. Joey seems like a representative for goalies.
He's so cute. I feel like I'm about to be so much more obsessed with him.
Oops, all goalies is adorable.
Yeah, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, I want to be a goalie and I want to play in the Oops All Goalies.
That's such like a roundabout way of being like, you don't want to be a skater, you want to play goalie, but then you want to be a goalie playing a skater.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't hold any goalie interest in me right now. But then when I think about any other position that I could play, I'm also terrified. So I think that there might just be generalized fear here, and we'll see. We'll see where I land.
Yeah.
But yeah, no goalie for me. I'm like a fourth line winger. If I had to be placed on a hockey team right now.
You think these beer leagues have a fourth line?
I don't know, right?
Like
I don't actually know. I don't know
second line.
So I've only played one 3-on-3 scrimmage. So I'm still figuring out how to keep the learning momentum going on my own until I can sign up for a learn to play class or jump into a league.
Yeah, you seem to have picked up a lot of momentum, especially in like your journey to source all of this like gear.
Yeah, that's been a really fun part of it, and I just took you to get the very last pieces of gear. Actually collecting my hockey gear has been like a really fun part of the journey because it's introduced me to people who are just so willing to help and explain how the equipment works and the sizing, and also just pepper in both encouragement and tips in the explanation. And I've just felt nothing but support from every person who's sat there and tried on all the shin pads with me to figure out what length it is, and helped me basically like spend my hockey dollars wisely, like in finding used gear that was still going to be protective and affordable. And it's just been really sweet. Like my gloves, I think they're children's gloves, and they have, as you already know, they have the name Loon on them on both of the palms.
Shout out to Loon.
I just want to know who Loon is. And like I love those gloves. And they're already getting something, and this is just like cute little stuff that I'm learning as I'm learning to play. I went back to Pure Hockey to ask the guy that I always ask questions to. I brought in my gloves and I said, hey, my right glove, the palm has all the black stuff from the tape on it, and then my left glove is fine. Is this unavoidable? Do I like? And he was like, yeah, that's just what happens. Your right hand is gonna wear holes in the leather faster than the one that's your top hand, whatever hand that is. Yeah, I don't know. I love my gloves. So the very last piece, before I would even allow myself to step foot on the ice, it was helmet, elbow pads, shin, knee pads, and then the hockey pants, shorts deal. But to go to stick and puck, which was my goal, now having gone to a stick and puck, I'm feeling discouraged. But to go to stick and puck, you have to have the rest of the gear, which was shoulder pads and like all the other little things like a neck guard, etc.
Are you ready to talk about
what ready to talk about what happened at stick and puck?
What happened? Why did this 8-year-old make you cry?
So after the high of going to Give Hockey a Try Day, hosted by the Seattle Women's Hockey Club, I was so excited because this was the first time that I was going by myself, getting all dressed out in and I really like the part of putting on all of the gear. Like, I think it's like, I keep trying to give myself enough time to do it because it takes me a long time to do it. And if and I'm like so excited to get on the ice that I'm like rushing, and then I get frustrated, and then I hurt my back because I'm like leaning over trying to tie my skates too fast. But so I was like very intentional about it. And, I felt like there was so it was mostly little boys getting private lessons, and then there was one old guy by himself who was doing like laps and taking some shots, and he was just sitting on the bench when I arrived. And I looked at him and said, hey, this is my first time. Does it look like I'm dressed properly? Like I was looking at the little boys and I was like, do they tuck their skate lip and the flap into the socks, or and they do. So I had to fix that real quick. I didn't want them to judge me. So the guy looked at me and he kind of like adjusted my neck guard and like tapped my shoulders to make sure I was wearing pads. And he was like, yeah, you look good. Go on. And so I stepped on the ice, and these little kids were good. They were zooming. They were confident. They were, yeah. So, and the ice was little. And as I was telling you, I didn't realize that the ice came in little size. So there was not very much space for me to be bad and for them to zoom around being good. So I just found myself in the way a lot, and I was, a lot of pucks were flying. and it didn't feel like the way pucks were flying when I went to the Give Hockey a Try Day. It felt scary. The pucks were flying and they were flying at me. So yeah, the little kids were like, what did they say to me? It was like, they were like, move out of the way. And just like sort of zooming by me, like saying these little comments. And I was so surprised because I've only been building myself up through this activity. And I was like, oh my God, I feel tears welling up behind my eyes because I'm in the way and I'm bad. And like, yeah, yeah, I sort of sternly talked back to him and I was like, hey, I'm brand new. And then he stopped, and also the old guy I think was looking out for me and was sort of like noting the situation.
Shut the fuck up, little kid.
Yeah, I texted Coach Waz after and she was like, yeah, they think they own the ice. Like, so I think I'm gonna try to go during school hours. This is no dig to youth hockey players. This was just one bad experience.
I'm ready to dig youth hockey players. Let's burn these little players
no.
to the ground.
It was just, I think they just lacked a little perspective in that moment as to my journey.
Yeah, they're children.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
You got chirped.
Oh my God, no, I didn't. Chirping I think, requires some amount of skill. They were just being rude, to my understanding. But
you got 8-year-old chirped.
God. Well, some of them actually were kind of nice to me. Like they like hit the puck my way once or twice. I think they realized that the one boy was being rude. So, well, the real problem here is that there were only adult men coaches and little boys on the rink, and that environment was hard for me to skate in. I felt like the confidence that I had skating at the Seattle Women's Hockey Club event versus it when I go on my own, I do shrink. I really want to find people to go to the rink with and either public skate or stick and puck because it's scary to keep pushing myself to go out there alone. I feel like more rigid in my movements and less willing to push myself. So
yeah, it sounds like we need to find you some sort of like group of like a women's new hockey players like takeover. Like, you know, when we like do like a dyke night at like a bar or something and we like go take over a bar. Like, we need to do that for like stick and puck. And if that does not exist already, like I'm here to create that for you.
I kind of want to. I should have grabbed some numbers of the people who were at Give Hockey a Try. I almost did, but I was a little scared. But I emailed the hockey club to ask if there's any other one-off events or groups, and they were kind of like, well, we do this in a tournament, but mostly it's just the league play, which I'm on the wait list for. But yeah, I think I just need to start getting to know people. And
I believe in your ability to say hello, let's be friends, can I have your phone number?
Yeah. Will you skate with me? Will you pass me the puck and and I can pass it back? So yeah, that was last Thursday. It's been a week and I haven't gone back to the ice. So
no.
I know I will. Maybe I'll go tomorrow. I think maybe I'm gonna go back to public skate for a while before I go back with the stick and the puck, because the people at public skate are usually pretty nice, or the ones in the middle of the day at the Renton Iceplex are really nice.
Yeah, way to just like give out your location to people.
We live in Seattle.
Yeah. There's not that many.
There's the Kraken Iceplex, the Renton one, Snow King, the Kirkland one, the Snoqualmie one, and the Kent one.
There's also, isn't there something up in Everett too?
I don't know.
I think so.
Never been that far. No.
Yeah, we don't go that far north.
We did to go to Play It Again Sports in Linwood. Isn't that basically Everett? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, shout out to Play It Again Sports in Linwood for being so helpful, and also Pier Hockey in Tequila for also being really helpful. Yeah. What else?
Let's talk about our interview with Sam.
I loved it.
So Sam came to us via someone I did a project with at work, and because I like basically cannot shut up about hockey, I was chatting with someone about this like podcast project that we were starting to do. So this was like a little while ago. This was like the beginning of the summer. I think probably around the time that we had maybe just interviewed Coach Waz, maybe about to interview Coach Waz. So I was chatting about it. It was the only thing I could talk about. I was like physically vibrating. If I wasn't talking about hockey, I was struggling. So anyways, this like really incredible woman that I was working on this project with was like, oh, my cousin plays hockey up in Alaska. She'd be perfect for your podcast. I'll connect you. And so that's how we found Sam. And
how fortunate.
I know. Oh my God. I'm so glad that we got to chat with her.
What a gem of a person. I feel like we're so lucky with these people that want to talk to us. Yeah, it was such a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just, chef's kiss. Sam, I know you're
Thank
listening.
Thank you,
Sam.
It was really meaningful to talk to Sam because just a couple days prior, I had my very first experience of being on the ice with a stick and a puck with other people. And it was just a really important moment for me. And to talk to Sam a couple days later, who also started to play hockey in her 30s and has sort of a similar, I guess, attitude about it. I found that I felt like I had a lot in common with her perspective. Just felt really great. So I feel really lucky to have talked to Sam post to that experience as I'm beginning my journey.
Yeah, it was awesome. So Sam and I chatted for about like 10 minutes before Gio hopped on. And, Gio and I are still figuring out our groove and that we need to show up early. So we chatted about like 10 minutes and I tried so hard to keep my mouth shut because I was just like, we're not recording. I can't talk to you, but I'm so excited to talk to you, Sam. But I was just so curious about her experiences being a goalie. And I don't know who actually brought it up, but very quickly we started talking about me sort of being like goalie curious, which is not something I had even ever shared with you, Gio, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're coming out.
I know. I was just like, there's just like something about her that I basically just like compulsively began confessing to her that I would be so open to trying like being a goalie and how I have really good hand-eye coordination and how I could just like see myself stepping into that role and really enjoying it. And there have been so many times in my life where I've been at a hockey game with a friend and, we just like chit-chatting and they're like, oh, if you were gonna like play hockey, what position would you be? And I've always been like, I would be a goalie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
And how are we feeling about that now with some reflection?
Oh my God. I have other things to tell you. Yeah, so I don't know how that came up, but I feel like the cat's out of the bag now.
I love it.
Yeah. I just can't say how awesome it was enough. I think even as we were trying to end the interview, I just kept being like, this was so amazing.
Yeah, it's really exciting because we could just keep talking to people and having nice conversations about hockey. And what more could I ask for? So let's get into it. Here's our interview with Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm she, her. Hey. Hi.
Hi, Gio.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Sam.
Sam and I both hopped on like 10 minutes early, so
we've
just been chatting.
Okay. Catching up. All right.
No worries.
We are talking Ray into trying hockey goalie. That's what we spent the 10 minutes doing.
Oh, that's a development in 30 minutes. I just saw Ray and we were practicing hockey in front of my house and now.
Yeah, that's kind of as soon as like right after I became a goalie as an adult learner, I also like simultaneously became a goalie recruiter. So it's just very natural. It's just what I do, I guess.
I get that vibe from goalies that I've met. Actually, one of my first questions to you is, what's the barrier to entry to being a goalie in terms of like, how much do you need to know how to skate? Because I'm trying to learn right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different. I've never put on player skates, and so I actually don't even know what those feel like. You definitely need to know how to skate and feel, stable on the ice. But goalie skates, I was telling Ray, they're flat. Your movements are so different. It's not really about going from one side of the rink to the other. It's about going from one side of the net to the other side, and you're doing that on your skates. You're doing that on your pads. Very different. Like the key skate movements that we learn as goalie I don't even know if players learn them, like these T pushes and these shuffles and these different things that we do to like kind of maneuver. I don't know if you guys, when you're watching hockey, I mean, and a lot of people say that how much they love watching goalie footwork, all these little micro movements that they make as they're tracking the puck. It's just very. I wish I've played out, like, and then I could like speak to the differences, but I just never have. It's a goal of mine, but I haven't done it yet.
I didn't know you could just start being a goalie. I didn't know that was a path, but it was your path.
That was my path. It can be a lower barrier of entry depending on the league. One, you're like goalies are needed, and so a lot of the time there are no fees, no or like fewer fees for goalies. And then some leagues, I don't want to say most, but maybe most have gear available to borrow. And I think that's pretty much why I did goalie. It was cheaper and I didn't have to like make this upfront investment in all this hockey gear. I basically borrowed everything, which was gross. I don't know if you guys have been around hockey gear, but it really smells. No one told me about the smell.
Yep, I just borrowed some shoulder pads on Sunday, and I was like,
Whoa, Gio, you've had a whole journey with used hockey gear.
I do. I actually am really good at cleaning used hockey gear. I've been collecting gear over the past couple months and doing like OxyClean baths and drying with fans, and yeah, it started in an unfortunate state. So
yeah,
it quickly smells very bad.
it does. I bought a helmet was the first because of like I cannot put on this used helmet anymore. It's so gross.
Yep, I figured out that line for myself immediately after trying on used helmets.
So yeah, I think I joke a lot of the times that like I don't even know how to play hockey because I just have one job, and there was one game and I got called for, I don't even remember what it was, but like I left my blue ice in a way that I shouldn't have or something. And this was like in my third season and I had never had that call before. And the ref was like, you did this. And I was like, I don't know. I don't even know how to play hockey. And he looked at me like, what?
You're the goalie.
Yeah, it's like I'm just here to stop pucks, and so I left that blue part. I don't know. Why can't I do that?
Okay, this is fascinating. I feel like I need to back up a million steps. Okay, so how did you get roped into this? Specifically goalie. How did this start?
Right. Okay, so I think you could start with a pandemic because that was like really the inspiration. I mean, you could start with Alaska. I moved to Alaska in 2010 or what. I mean, that doesn't matter. But hockey is really big in this state. And a lot of the folks that I was meeting like play hockey recreationally as adults. And so it's been like a peripheral conversation around me for a long time. Like, oh, you would like this, or this is really fun. And I was super intimidated because I never thought about goalie. I was just like, I can't really see myself going fast on the ice and ice skates. Like, I don't know. That sounds like a disaster. And then after lockdowns were easing, I just felt super motivated to do something where I was moving my body and meeting people because I just basically been home for 2+ years, sitting and working and not doing, we're doing stuff outside, but I don't know, it just gave me that impetus or whatever. And my wife works with, she's an older woman. She's in her 60s, I think. Yeah. And she got started in her 40s and she was like,
Started in her 40s with hockey?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I feel hope.
I mean, I was like 37 when I started. And so she's like, she really wanted her to play too. She has a connective tissue disorder and does not recover from injuries very well. And she's like, I don't think I'm going to do it, but maybe Sam could do this. And then she's like always talking about how they need goalies. They're always losing goalies. There are never enough goalies. And that, as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, maybe I could do that. Like, what does that entail? And then when she told me about the lower fees and that I could borrow gear, I was like, I mean, that sounds like way less, because then if I don't like it, I haven't made any investments or anything other than like the league registration or whatever. So I hadn't put on skates probably since some kind of childhood birthday a long time ago until that first game. And I put on, and I was, yeah. And so, yeah, there's no practice for adults. And I, as I put that first skate out there, I remember being like, I hope I don't fall. And I had a shutout that first game. I do think the ref made a mistake, but that, I don't know, it was just such a high, like there wasn't a ton of shots on goal, but just being out there and stopping some and being like, wow, I actually did it. Like, and I had fun and I survived. And I don't know, it was like kind of addicting.
So you got to shut out your first game. Crazy. Must have been high.
It
Yeah.
was very high. Yeah. It was really cool.
That's so cool. If I can like interject, I'm so curious. You said that you had not been on skates until that first game. That like really blows my mind. And you specifically said that you were like worried about falling. Did you know how to get up off the ice if you had fallen? No.
No.
Okay. We were just gonna figure it out.
I had a ref later tell me that he saw me playing like late into that season, and he was like, I can help you. He like does these like classes at our local university, and when I was working with him and I'd like go down to stop a puck and I'd like be like down, he's like, you're kind of like roadkill when you're down there, huh? And I was like, I guess. He's like, we need to work on that.
Yeah, was the like sliding around movement intuitive or
No, there's like I learned, I kind of watched a bunch of YouTube videos. There's so much content out there for goalies, which I'm really appreciative of. There's great like Maria Mountain. She does Goalie Pro TV or something like that. She has a ton of stuff. I mean, I can't name them all. There's like so many great goalie coaches like on the internet for free and not for free. You can like pay as well. But I just watched those videos. I think like before that first game, I watched like 5 ways to stop more pucks or something.
Yeah, I kind of am getting the vibe that you can learn on the fly. Like I went to I don't know if Ray told you, but I went to this like give hockey a try event last Sunday put on by the Seattle Women's Hockey Club. And I was talking to a lot of the participants who were also like, I haven't put on skates since childhood birthday parties. And once they were given a stick and a puck and gear, like it's surprisingly just like you can just go, I don't know, and just learn on the go. They started with the very basics. They were just like, here's how you get up after you fall. Okay, move the puck around in a circle. Okay, now we're gonna do cones. And it was just like so cool. So I imagine that like, yeah, you could put on goalie gear, go into a game, and then learn off YouTube, and you don't have to be ready necessarily to jump in.
Yeah, I will say be conscientious of your body and like any injuries maybe you have, because as a strong goalie recruiter, I have talked a friend into trying goalie, and then the first time she went into butterfly, she got hurt really, really badly. Butterfly is a goalie position where you drop to your knees on your pads, and I felt really bad about that. So it's good to be tuned in and to be able to, this was somebody like a young adult who volunteered to like teach this little new to goalie clinic. And so I would say if you're doing one of those things, or even like skating and you have coaches telling you to do something, but you don't think your body should do that, I think it's just reminding people to like, it's okay to say no or to be like, is there something else I can do? I don't want to do butterfly, because you can be a stand-up goalie, that's a thing. Butterfly wasn't even a thing until, I don't know if you guys can edit and like put the name of the guy, Patrick, is it O'Hare? I don't remember, but like kind of created that.
I watched the VHS tape that told me about it, but I can't remember.
Yeah. So it wasn't even a thing until like the 80s or whatever anyway. So
yeah.
Okay, real quick. So I looked this up for Sam. I believe she was referencing Patrick Waugh, who was not officially the first goalie to adopt the butterfly style, but is credited as one of the most successful early goaltenders to adopt the style. Okay, back to our interview with Sam.
I mean, yeah, especially playing as adults, it's just it's what you want out of it. So
yeah,
I think that's a good reminder to be aware of our adult bodies and how we learn in them physically.
Throw yourself out there, but know yourself as well.
That's great advice. Gray, do you feel compelled to try goalie now?
I don't know. Before you hopped on, Sam and I were chatting about one of the things that Sam had said in the email that we got. It was about how there's just like something kind of like, different to being goalie, about how like there's like a little bit more of like the team is like behind you and there's like a little bit of like praise that go with it. And I was like, my ego might enjoy that. But also like I am extremely coordinated in terms of like hand-eye coordination, as I know, Gio, you and I were like playing around like an hour ago and I was talking about that too. So I don't know that I'm like going to play hockey. I don't know. I'm not making any commitments, but if I did, there is something that like really draws me to that too. And Sam, you were saying earlier about watching goalies and like watching their footwork. And I find that when I'm at like hockey games and when I'm watching, number one, I love to sit behind the goalie. I just love that point of view and that advantage. I actually like to sit a little bit in like the corner. So you're kind of getting like almost right behind the goalie, but you're still getting a lot of the whole rink. And so I really enjoy that because I do love to watch the goalie. And I'm sort of new to watching sports in terms of like being like a fan and like following teams and stuff. So I'm still kind of like ramping up to that. But I will say that I have one and one only favorite player of like hockey, and I just totally fell in love with him. And he's a goalie, and it was like this game that I went to where he was like playing, and it was like 0-0 the whole game, and then we went to like double OT because it was in the playoffs, and it was like I think it was like 50 something shots on goal for each team. And it was like, they played like 94 minutes of hockey. And I just was like in awe of him. And like the way that he's like the only player, like as a goalie, you're the only player on the ice typically for the entire game. And they're just like, there's certainly something to the dance. And I am attracted to the idea. I don't know. I would have to do some probably really serious physical therapy to get the like hip mobility because my hips are a little messed up, but I have for a really long time been looking for a reason to better my body. Yeah. And I do love to learn new things. So I'm not making any promises, but
me too.
I might be recruitable is what I'm saying.
I can't wait to see you in the gold gear.
Yeah, like you were saying, I think there's people in Seattle who are like goalie evangelists also. Like I think you could get in the gear. You could borrow some.
I think if you were to put people in front of me that were just like, yes, Ray, come do this. We will just take you in and do, I would just be like, okay, like a cult. Like I would be so easy to recruit.
Right.
But you just got to get me in front of the right people. And then I'll,
Hockey is a great motivator for like having a healthy body though. I was one thing I was thinking about for this episode is like when I was in my early 30s, I started to go see like physical therapists for the first time for like plantar fasciitis or tennis elbow and like postural related things, knee stuff. And I wasn't doing anything besides my desk job, like maybe hiking. But since playing hockey, I might go in to the chiropractor or maybe like a deep tissue thing for certain injuries or whatever, but I'm not getting the same, like not having the same issues I used to have. And I think because it's like motivating me, well, like it keeps me moving and then motivates me to do like, I'm not very good at it, but like strength training when I can fit it in and stuff like that. And so I do think it's helped with some, I don't know, desk work is like, I feel like more dangerous than playing hockey.
And I work at a desk and I hate it.
Yeah.
No, that resonates hugely. I've been in physical therapy for the last year for a back injury, and being able to learn to ice skate and play hockey has been the main framing device and motivator for like building a completely new relationship with my body, and it's just been so meaningful. So yeah, I don't know, it's kind of amazing for me right now to hear you kind of echo the beginning of my journey in a similar like mental framing way, which just makes me really hyped to talk to you because I didn't know you could do this as an adult. Like it's you can.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's why I became such a like, I don't know how to say it, like what am I trying to say, enthusiastic recruiter, because it was such a high, and it was like that same thing. It was like I didn't know that if I wasn't wearing skates at age 3 that I could put them on at age 37 or 40 or 50 or whatever it is. Like I didn't know that. And it's not true for everybody, but I do think it's really important, especially as we get older, to continue to try new things and push ourselves and try to find things that are physical within the realms of our abilities. And I'm just so grateful to hockey for so many things, but for putting me back in my body. Like it's an embodying thing, and it's something 100%. That I was definitely neglecting before hockey.
Okay, so that's interesting that you came into it from like both a social, athletics, body perspective, and not necessarily through the lens of being like a fan of professional teams or like a sort of hockey spectator.
Yeah.
Did that come later or not at all? Do you care about professional hockey?
I started to watch some, but I wouldn't say that like I'm not going out of my way to watch it, like super out of my way, but I do enjoy, like if I'm at an airport bar and there's nobody there and they have football on, I'll say, can we put on a hockey game? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I rather, like if I'm at a place and they're watching sports, it's the sport I would prefer to watch over any of the other sports. And I love watching I'll go on YouTube and look for like, NHL best saves. I like those little like those are very inspiring. Or now I'm hoping that the PWHL will put things like that together. And I'll look for the best shots too. Be like, what shots are making it through? What do I got?
Aw,
Even
I
as like
love this.
a beer leaguer. But yeah, I like watching stuff like that. I definitely enjoy watching it. It's just I think I like playing it more.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And yeah, I think in that email I noted like, so I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. We didn't have a hockey team until the 90s. And when they became a team, like we definitely went, I think because like of the newness of it, but it wasn't like I wouldn't say it was like fanatic about the Coyotes, but when it came to hockey and like supporting a team, rest in peace, I would support the Coyotes. Now the Utah Force or something, I don't know.
The Utah Mammoth.
Oh, okay, Utah Mammoth.
Which is fine.
That's fine.
I have like a bunch of questions for you. There's like something to this like emotional and physical relationship to hockey and just like how I don't know, something about it when I played my first 3-on-3 scrimmage ever. Like I've been putting all the pieces together. Like I've been learning how to skate. I've been practicing with a like puck and stick off ice and I put it all together on Sunday and it was so magical. Like I couldn't believe the like what I was able to do and the feeling of it. And it's, yeah, like you spoke to that sort of being hooked. I felt immediately hooked. I felt compelled to be like, yeah, I'll go on Fridays at 11 p.m. to play a game.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I get it.
It does feel like a cult, and there is something very like intense about it, especially adult recreational or even adult competitive, but like, like non-professional hockey as an adult, like just wait until you discover hockey tournaments, and that whole culture, like adult tournaments.
Yeah. It looks like summer camp.
Yeah, there's themes and dressing up and parties and fun team names and fun jerseys and like it's a crazy world once you like break into it, and it is very consuming. Like my my wife is very supportive of hockey, but she was like, we need to either make sure these things are done with the house and the animals and like all the things before you go to a game and come home at like 11 o'clock at night, or we need to like limit, you cannot say yes to every single game, because especially as a goalie, as soon as your name gets out there, like I would have people calling me, texting me who I don't even know, be like, can you goal this place this time? And that was kind of a funny story. I told my wife, Sarah, I said, hey, I'm going to be at this rink playing for this team at this time. It was like late, it was like 9 o'clock or something. And I was like, I'm going to be on this rink at this time, just in case. And like, I'll play with like the team is called this, just in case anything happens and you need to like try to find me. And she's like later, she's like, you know who these people are though, right? Like you've met them before. I was like, I don't know who this is. And she's like, and it was like a co-ed team and it was mostly men. She's like, you don't know who you're playing with. You're going to like the locker room with a bunch of strange men that you've never played with before. She's like, what is happening? So
Yeah.
they need a goalie, and I'm free. I'm gonna go.
I love that. Wait, so you're in Alaska. My next question is about Alaska. You said there's a big hockey culture there.
Yep.
Is it because you're next to Canada, or what's it like up there?
What's it like? I mean, we have a lot of outdoor ice.
Yeah.
We
Of course. Duh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not from Alaska, so I can't speak to all of that, but I know we have club hockey, and it feels like it's way more accessible than it was growing up in Phoenix, for instance. I'm sure if we were a hockey family, though, I'm sure there were club sports back then, maybe, and ice. I don't even know. That was like the 90s, so I have no idea. But yeah, we have a lot of outdoor ice and a good amount of adult leagues.
Is that like a big youth sport there? Is that like what?
I think so. Yeah, there's high school teams, and then club, and I'm going to try to connect you guys with one of our youth hockey directors who actually played goalie in college. And she has injured hips and can't do goalie anymore. I think maybe from that position, but I'm hoping that she'll be able to talk to you guys about what she does with the youth here. It's really cool, especially the youth girls.
We would love that.
Yeah, we would be so appreciative of that. That'd be so cool.
Okay, my dumb burning question about being a goalie, as I briefly considered it on my hockey journey, is how scary is it to have pucks flying at you? Do you feel like goalies have more head injuries than other positions?
Okay, my experience, my observation is that goalies get less like really injured than hockey players, if that makes sense. I've seen players like fall on sticks and break their ribs. I've seen players go into the boards, break their collarbones, dislocate their shoulders, do weird things to their knees, and like get tangled up with other players. My experience, I've gotten, I think my worst injury was a bone bruise that lasted about a year. It was like just a really hard puck that hit me. We just went through it. It didn't hit my pads. It like hit my bare skin. And I since learned how to do my pads differently so that I have less bare skin out there. But yeah, like that spot on my leg was tender for about 12 months. But those are the injuries that I'll come home with, just like puck bruises that are either like going through my pads or missing my pads. Pucks to the head aren't super fun, but if you have a good helmet, it's like it's not the biggest deal. Just kind of a bell ringer. It's like when you get stung by a puck, it definitely makes you a little bit more flinchy when a real fast, hard puck is coming at you again, like at that time. But it's, I don't know, easy to kind of forget what that feels like when you go out there. I think you feel not invincible, but you are wearing so much padding. There's like a confidence there, especially as you kind of triage all those naked spots that the pucks find. I'll just like, it's like, oh, okay, a puck hit me here. Maybe I need to go buy like a sleeve or something for my wrist for if like I guess like when I reach out, a puck can hit. I don't know. You just learn where pucks can hit you and then you try to figure out how to make it so that there's more padding there next time or something like that, or like change your movement so that you're not exposing that same area.
They're definitely making it sound less scary. So that's good.
Yeah, I think the thing with goalie that I don't know if this, I mean, I think it's probably true to a degree with any sports, but it is such a mental game. You want that puck, if that makes sense. So like while you're in the net, you're like, come on, like you want to like absorb it, like you're like a black hole and that puck is coming to you versus like, I think my instinct was to just like shoo it away, but then it can like bounce and all these things. Like you want to want it. And so that's like a lot of the mental work is like when it's coming is to trying not to be scared. Trying to be excited or be like, yeah, that's my thing. Come on. Like, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to receive this little black rubber disc.
Oh, okay. This is sounding emotionally compelling on many levels.
I encourage anyone who does hockey to try it because I think it only is going to make you a better player if you have that perspective of goalie as well.
Yeah.
As the person trying to make the goals, I think it'd probably be helpful to know what it's like to stop the goals and the limitations therein.
Yeah. I guess another question to that about the mental game of playing goalie is how has playing goalie over the years like changed you and your journey, like relating to the sport on like a personal, emotional, mental level?
I think the theme that comes up the most is like this joke about being goalie strong. Like my wife has a bulge disc, and so it's like lifting 50-pound bags or whatever is not good for her. And so I've had to step up around our house and like with gardening and stuff to be the lifter. And I think in the past, like before hockey, I had like weak wrists and I had tennis, I had all these things, but it's like a mental change, like whether or not I'm physically able to lift that bag. It's like, I'm like, oh, well, I'm a hockey goalie. So I'm just going to lift this bag, like whatever. I think that's a big thing. Maybe just like a confidence. And then, yeah, we can go back to what Ray was talking about, which is a little bit embarrassing for me, but like, just like liking that or like getting that part of your ego or whatever it is, that praise that you get.
Appreciation, like deep appreciation, it feels like.
Yeah, I don't want to sound, I don't know how to make it not sound like super needy, but there is like a part of me, I think I was saying in the email, like as a Jewish queer woman, I might be more needy than other people of like looking for that societal praise or that I'm okay. And I do think that hockey gives me that. And even if it's just moments like when you make a good save and your team is like, great save or good job, like it sounds so silly and like kind of childish, but it does it does do something, I
No,
think,
I'm tearing up
psychologically.
as you're saying that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm hungry for that.
Like when I play with like people that are really good, there's like this team that invited me to play with them, and some of them are like just incredible hockey players where just like, wow, it's like so cool to watch them this close. And one of them was like, that's my goalie. And it just like made me, yeah, it kind of was like, I can't believe you
Oh,
said that about me. Like, I love that. And that was so we
oh,
talked about how it's embodying, but another thing, I do have just like depression in general, but also seasonal affective disorder. And I have noticed a huge change having hockey during the winter. I think it's really helps combat the effects of the SAD in a huge way by being embodying, by putting me in lights, giving, providing that community and just giving you something to look forward to. Not that it's a cure, I think, still take your Prozac and stuff, but it's definitely been helpful. I've noticed a change for sure.
yeah. Do you feel at all, and this, I'm at the beginning of my hockey journey, do you feel at all like it makes me feel like a child in a way, like learning something in that very pure
Yeah.
way, and it makes me feel like I'm parenting myself, like this, like
Mhm.
in having to be encouraging of myself to do this thing that nobody is requiring me to do, and it's purely because I love it. And I just haven't experienced something like that as an adult in a long time. So,
I like that. I don't know if I thought of that necessarily in that way, but I do think there's something powerful about connecting with your inner child with that, like, and there is a lot, I mean, because kids do play hockey. There are a lot of times where it feels not childish, but it kind of takes you back if you did team sports as a kid to like, those feelings of being in the locker room and hanging out with people and talking about things. And yeah, I think there's,
did you do that? What was your child relationship with sports?
did I play sports?
Yeah, did you play sports as a kid?
Yeah. I play, yeah, everything but hockey. Mostly softball, basketball until I was benched, soccer for one, even wrestling in middle school. I think I was our school's first female wrestler. And that was because I was such a quote unquote tomboy back then. All my friends were guys, and I just like missed hanging out with them, and they were all on the wrestling team. And I was like, well, I'm going to wrestle too then.
Damn,
Um,
okay, athletic. Got it.
yeah, I don't know. I guess
Yes.
ADHD definitely. Just I think my parents realized I needed to be doing stuff all the time. I tried to be
Yeah.
on the dive team in high school, but I was like a junior when I was trying that, and they were like, "Oh no, you're too old to train. Like we want you as freshmen to like get you, like we're not going to put 2 years into you." So then I just swam laps.
When you are a kid trying to learn new sports, I always got this feeling of being too late, which is why I'm enjoying learning
Yeah,
hockey at 31 because
yeah,
yeah, of course I'm too late. Like who
yeah.
cares? We all are. It's just for fun. So,
Right. I know, and I really liked it, and yeah, that was a bummer that they're like, "Oh, you're a junior? No, nope, we're not gonna have you on our dive team."
Yeah, that's such a
yeah.
shame to like do that to any child. I think that something that I really took away like so much from our interview with Coach Waz was what she commented about how there's just like, some kids just like want to go have fun. And I
Yeah.
think like what a missed opportunity that someone turned you down when you were just like, I want to try a new
Yeah.
thing. I want to learn a new skill. There's like so much in life that we can take away from like learning anything and being a beginner at anything at any
Mhm.
age. And so that's such a shame that happened. I'm so sorry.
I mean, it was I don't know if it would happen still. Like it was, I don't want to say how long ago high school was. It was a long time ago. But I mean, on the like something that Gio said reminded me. Oh, starting anything later in life. The goalie Reddit community is like super supportive. I mean, I think any goalie community, hockey goalie community, is really supportive. But I like shared like I'm 37 and I'm gonna play my first game, blah blah blah. And something that somebody said, the coaches and like other trainers will say like you only have so many butterfly movements in your hips. Like as a human body, like your hips can tolerate X number of like going into that position and doing that thing. And so they're like, at least you haven't used any of those, so like you're going in with like quote unquote fresh hips, fresh knees at this age. So in theory, you can keep going. And that's kind of the depressing part about learning about hockey goalie, is like how kids that do get into it really young are like working towards a hip or knee replacement surgery and then the end of their career in their 20s. And that, I mean, I do hope that more and more coaches and parents and whoever is looking out for their physical well-being, like, don't just push their hips and knees to the breaking point like that fast. Like, that is very depressing to me. That seems to be a natural end for a lot of goalies. And I mean, we just saw Fleury retire, and I think he's in his 40s, and I don't know if he had any big surgeries, but he left, I think, in good shape, for his age, considering how many games he played. So I guess if there are kids listening, please take care of your hips and your knees.
Also, if there are kids listening, I'm sorry for all of my curse words.
If you'd prefer the beeped version of this episode,
check back in a year when I have time to beep episodes.
But that's a very encouraging thing for the Reddit goalies to say, is that, hey, the upside of you starting late in life, you've got some juice in you.
Yeah. I don't know. It obviously stuck with me, and I think about that often, and it feels like, yeah, untapped potential there, like, because they've just been on the shelf for the first 30 plus years, and now they're getting used.
Wow, I love that.
And how many years have you been playing now?
I will be going into my 4th season, so I guess 3. So still very much a baby.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, I'm debating whether or not to start a season with the league here, or whether I should wait a year and get better, but maybe not. I don't know. What's your advice on that?
I think do it. I mean, I think what makes you better is the doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much off ice or on ice training you can do. Like, I don't know, I feel like that game time with the refs, with the teams, with that like pressure, that's when you want to be good, and you don't know what that's like until you are doing it, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I first started, I was like really counting my ice hours, because I was like, oh, all right, I have 1 hour of ice. Oh, I have 2 hours of ice. Now I've lost count. But I don't know, I think it's fun to get those games under your belt, and I think it's going to help you. I think it's the best way to take that Band-Aid off. Just do it.
I think I want to, because what was special about last Sunday is like the support of everyone around you. And when I've been just going to like public skate, I'm just like, this is a very demoralizing environment to like. There's nothing uplifting about trying to go to public skate in full hockey gear and like be a beginner. But like in that environment with like, queer people and women, and it's with just this like easy camaraderie immediately, and like everybody just really pumped for you. I was just like, oh my God, inject this straight into my veins. Yeah. This is the best ever, especially because I didn't play sports as a kid, so I don't really know what that like team locker room vibe is, and it was just so life-giving. So
as a goalie, all I'll say is, when you are practicing, really work on your stopping,
so I don't crash the net into the goalie.
Yeah, I am still a baby goalie, but I left the beginner level after after 2 years, because it just hurts when skaters run into you. So like I'll be down like trying to find the puck or whatever, and skaters at the beginning levels don't know how to stop, and they're just like landing on me in my like poor low back. I'm like, I can't handle that. And so I prefer, even though I might not have the speed, I just prefer playing with like people that can stop better or take more direct shots, a little less chaos in front of the net. But yeah, I think stopping helps prevent injuries as well. I think we had the most issues from people not knowing how to stop, but otherwise, just go for it.
Yeah. Learning how to stop well has definitely been emphasized from every single person I've talked to. So it sounds super important. I can almost do it.
Yeah.
So
it's important. It does look like it's really hard, but it's a good one. It's a good one to be able to have.
Ray, do we have?
I really want to hear about this elopement, if you want to chat.
Elopement.
I am hoping that one of them or other people from that wedding party call in too. But yeah, I know we haven't even talked about any of the gossip.
I like the gossip is sort of just like, what rumors are we truly starting about like professional level hockey? Like we don't need to get into like small town gossip or anything like that.
Oh, I didn't know that was on the table.
I'm sorry.
I want to hear.
So I like what Gio is saying. Like there's like this it's like infectious. Like you get into this community and you just want to share it with everybody that that who you think might also enjoy it. And there was a friend in particular who I was like, who we had been trying to like find sports to play together. Definitely our inner children. And I was like, I think you would really like this. Like you need to try this. And so mid-season, she joins. And long story short, she met her now wife and had a very magical elopement the last weekend or a couple weeks ago, and we were all blow up unicorns. And they have a team called Lickety Splits, and it's like they created it like specifically for our queer community so that they had a team, a place to feel safe in hockey. Well, we do have there are issues with trans players up here in Alaska. Unfortunately, there was like a tournament that we all signed up for, and like we realized really late in the game that the rules said no trans. I mean, I don't think it said word for word no trans players, but it said like something about birth certificate, woman, blah blah. Because this was like a women's tournament, and then our team, the Lickety Splits, we're like, we're not gonna play, and we're gonna like try to get as many teams as we can to also leave. And we knew like it was a lot of goalies that we knew, and we're like, you're not going to have we weren't trying to be like dicks, but it was like just very like short notice, and we just kind of felt like, oh, this is not nice, this is not right. So I think that's a really interesting thing that I don't know if that's just in Alaska, but navigating the adult like trans women issue with like women's sports. And I always just like take that conversation and say, I think everybody should definitely feel safe. Like I think all leagues should definitely make sure that there's good sportsmanship and good conduct. And if any person is like not feeling safe for some reason, it doesn't really matter if it shouldn't matter trans or not trans. Like fighting is not allowed, aggressive behavior is not allowed, blah blah blah. So I think there's work to do around that, but there has been some transphobia, which has been difficult and been kind of like, what do you call it when it's like creating these different sects within, a schism within different hockey communities, and that's been tough.
With that tournament, that was there a response at all from the?
They did within, so we took it to the social medias, created like a quick campaign, and there was a pretty quick response. And we took it, like we did try to reach out to the board of this tournament. Like first we tried to like, is this really true? Is this outdated language? And when we couldn't reach out to them with the tournament coming, we're like, oh, we need to like solidify these plans. And it did get their attention right away. And they did say, we are changing that rule or whatever.
Oh,
they didn't. Hey. Yeah, that was great. I think that the people that organized the tournament felt like attacked. And I can see that, and definitely didn't mean to like, wasn't trying to target them, but just trying to say that we can't attack our trans female athletes. Like, I don't know. That's just not like, we knew teams that like this team like was discouraged from even doing the tournament because of one of their players, and it's like, well, that doesn't feel good either. So
yeah, I imagine that's a problem beyond Alaska for sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I'm not deep enough into what's going on here in Seattle, but I do know people I can ask and talk to about it. But I'm curious how Seattle, being the city that we are, addresses that.
Yeah.
I love this idea of like unionizing the goalies.
Yeah.
That's
leveraging
rad like work.
Yeah, and in Alaska, we're all pretty connected, and then like you have the queer community, and then you have the hockey community, so you down to a pretty small community there, and we can all reach each other pretty quickly and be like, this is what's happening, what are we going to do? Oh, we're not going to play if they do this, and then they don't have a tournament.
Yeah, and that's how change happens.
Yeah.
It's true. My question was going to be broadly, what's it like to be queer in Alaska? Just like outside of hockey. What's going on up there?
That is interesting. So we were just in like Seattle and then like Bainbridge and Kingston area for this wedding. And what I noticed well, I don't know if this is like normal, but it just seemed very queer, like Seattle and Bainbridge. Like there's like queer people everywhere.
100%. Yeah.
And I don't notice that in Alaska, like, because I was still kind of like, oh, are people gonna like, because we're this like big queer group walking around with like rainbows and all this stuff. It's like, what kind of looks are we gonna get? I was like just like ready for it, and there was no looks. Like, okay, yeah, you're just
down here?
Yeah, down there.
Oh,
because that's what happens here is you're usually like it feels like you're like the only queer person in a space, or a queer couple, or it hasn't happened to us in a while. Well, we don't really go shopping together as much anymore, not because of this, but because whenever my wife and I go shopping together, it's like something happens in our brains and we think we're on vacation and we're just like, let's get this. So we just like try not to do that as a rule. Even when I don't know why that happens to us. We just like,
that makes sense to me.
Love hanging out and just like, oh my gosh, we're shopping together. Da, 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 da. So we don't do that anymore. But when we were shopping together, like we'd be even at like a Home Depot, which I was like, you can't like call us out at our place, like Home Depot. But people would like say weird things, like someone shouted at us once, like, who's older? And that was like super confusing to us. And I think they were making the point that we were twins, like identical twins or something like that. I don't think we look alike at all. And Sarah's older by like 2 years. She's like, I am? Like, what? And then, someone has also like literally shouted twins at us. And I don't think we dress similarly either. So it's fine, but
you feel more visible, sounds like.
Feel more visible, and there's like, if we want to go camping or go to a cabin or like get an Airbnb, we do have to do a lot more like emotional mental math about it. Like, okay, what are is this place, are we going to be safe? Like, is the host homophobic or not? Stuff like that.
Yeah. This is relatable to me being from Florida. Mm-hmm. So yeah, always like a really different palpable vibe when Florida versus here, as I'm sure that you felt being here in Seattle.
Yeah, it was like
a
really
comfort that's in the air.
It was like, wow, no one even like notices or cares. This is really cool.
Yeah, I also love this is getting off topic, I guess, but in Seattle, I just see a lot of gender nonconformity in a way that's really comforting versus Florida and other places I've been. Like, I just instantly felt like I could breathe and express myself better out here.
Yeah. I mean, as an older queer person who's been married now almost 10 years, I'm not out and about like that often. Like, to be able to speak to what it's like, like being out, like going out to bars, or my wife and I don't go to restaurants that often. So, but I do, like when we're at Pride, we do have a decent Pride Fest here in Anchorage. And we went to like an outdoor concert the other night, and I saw a lot of different expression, gender expression, and like queer looking, outfits and loud out, I was like, oh, okay, there's some, I don't know, it's fun we don't get out and about a ton because we're old married couple, but there's definitely queer people here and expression happening, especially with our youths. It's nice to see.
The queer youths of Alaska.
Yep,
are doing well.
I think I don't know. I hope so. I think so. They seem to be doing okay.
Sam, this has been such a pleasure to talk to you and listen to you, and maybe be swayed into the cult of like being a goalie one day. I don't know.
to be part of your goalie recruitment journey.
Yeah, I
This
might
might be a
reach
real
out.
pivotal moment. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll have a follow-up conversation in some time and see what happens.
It's just been really fun. I'm glad my cousin was able to connect us, and I hope you all just get inundated by more Alaska hockey stories. 'Cause
Oh,
I can't wait to hear all the different hockey stories too. Yeah. Yeah, look up Maria Mountain's butterfly challenge because she has a lot of stuff for the hips in particular.
cool. Yeah, I feel like I'm about to go do a bunch of research, which
A
is
lot of
fun.
stuff. I will say one other thing that I learned that nobody told me when I first started, and this is very obvious and dumb, but that your knee is only supposed to bend 90 degrees. I think when you watch hockey goalies, there's like this illusion, or it looks like it's bending in a weird way, but all that movement is really in your hips. It's not your knees. And so,
Oh,
thanks again to Maria Mountain. She has like this whole 30 or 40-minute video about like the anatomy of the knee and all this stuff. And that was like, I was trying to put my knee in like really weird positions. Like, don't do that. All those tendons in there, they don't want it. They don't want to do that. It's just a joint that wants to bend 90 degrees, and then your hips, everything else comes from the hips. So I wish somebody
okay.
had, I mean, everybody probably assumes that we all know that, but I did not know that. I thought maybe
No,
the knee.
I love those tips. I love the dumb things that you're like, well, you know, maybe this is dumb.
I thought that they were really moving in like anatomically impossible ways, which is why I was like, I can't do that. I want to watch that video.
Your knee will tell you not to do that, and don't push through that. Just, yeah, give it extra padding, only bend it 90 degrees, nothing else. And then everything else is in the hips, and don't push your hips beyond what they want to do either.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, Sam. I cannot say how much I appreciate that you came and chatted with us, and that you're trying to recruit people. I see now a little bit more of the natural recruiter that you know, and why you were maybe like, yeah, I'll come on and recruit some more goalies. So
yeah, come visit us next time you're in Seattle. Also.
Yes, please. Yeah, we've got PWHL tickets too, so if you want to come to a game,
my gosh,
season tickets.
We'll kick off one of our friends. We'll just pick one of them and be like, you can't sit with us this game, and you can come sit with us.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Amazing.
So after we concluded our interview, I realized that I had one more question, and I just couldn't get out of my head. So I wrote this email to Sam like immediately after our interview, but I did a schedule send, so I didn't seem so desperate. I know. I scheduled it to send for like the next morning because I was like, yeah, I'm so cool.
Oh. Nerd.
So yeah, I am. So this is what I said. I said, "Hi, Sam. I immediately regretted not asking you this in the recording, but I'm really curious how you deal with the emotional recovery of missing and having a shot go in. I personally struggle with the idea of failing others. So could you please shed some light on how you find the emotional strength to just like shake it off and keep going?" And despite having waited the next morning, she actually responded back really quickly. So, no cool factor needed. It's a little long, but I'm going to read it out because I think it's so valuable, and I really appreciated that she took the time to send it. So she said, "It's a good question, and especially relevant when the praise is what's being craved. What I learned and accepted is that pucks go in. They just do. Whether it's a bad bounce or a skill that has fallen short or a player skill that is excellent, they go in. In the same way that it is lovely for your team or even opposing players to comment on good saves, same goes for players that make good goals. Furthermore, my observation has been that the goalie's attitude is key. If the goalie is beating themselves up, not only does it make it more likely for the pucks to go in, but it can crash the morale of the team. You find your way to shake it off and reset as best as possible. Sometimes it's easier than other times, but I've noticed that when I'm having fun versus taking the adult rec league game too seriously, I'm overall a better goalie, and the game is overall better versus if I'm using pucks scored as ammo to berate myself. I have to remind myself why I'm there and why I opted to be sore for the next several days. To move my body, to have fun, to do something for me, and because I like it. There are limits, of course. If a team is just crashing the net nonstop, the event can start to feel like not fun. And that has happened a few times where I'm thinking to myself, do I like this? Do I want to do this? That's why I think sportsmanship is so important. My message to those star shooters, if you find you can dominate the ice, that you are playing well above the skill of everyone around you. See what you can do to be a playmaker versus a hat tricker. And remember, typically goalies are few and far between. You don't need to go easy on them per se, but if they are new or just not at your skill level, give them shots that help them be better goalies versus just dominating them in the net, because when they don't come back, it's hard on the whole league and the sport itself. And then she also included a note just commenting on one of the things that we talked about in her interview. She said, I remembered what the rule was about the blue ice. It was about freezing the puck. You have to have part of your body in the blue paint when freezing the puck. I did not know that until hundreds of ice hours.
I don't think I knew that.
I don't know. I mean, it makes sense to me, but I don't know all of the rules of hockey.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So at the end of our interview, or towards the end of the interview, Sam's audio was starting to cut out a little bit. And if I can't fix it in post, I just wanted to make sure that we kind of get it in. And so at the very end, I was asking if there was anything else that she wanted to share about her hockey journey or like hockey at all. So I just wanted to share her words. So she said, if you are goalie curious, I think she was talking to me, or if you are hockey curious, to just try, just like get out there and try it. And I think that's such a great attitude, to just go try. And that's what you're doing right now, Gio.
I am trying. Yeah, all you can do is try. I tried to convince myself that I couldn't do it for a long time and that it was a bad idea. And I'm glad that I tried. Actively trying.
You're doing it. You're getting out there.
Yep.
Yeah. So for me, I like really connected with Sam's story, like particularly when she was sharing about her like body pre-hockey. Like she mentioned having like plantar fasciitis, and I'm currently being getting treatment for my plantar fasciitis. And she like mentioned having like weak wrists, and I've been struggling with my wrists. And like even she like mentioned about having like working like a desk job and like not being super active besides like an occasional hike. And that's exactly where I'm at in my life. And so I just like really, really connected with her journey and that like where she was pre-hockey. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm not really sure I'm ready to confess this on the podcast. But like between you and me, Gio.
And between you and me and two microphones.
Between you and me and the recorder that's between us, that's actively recording. After our interview with Sam, that night when I went to bed, I like closed my eyes and I was envisioning myself in the crease looking at a hockey game through like the cage of a goalie mask. And I think I might want that for myself.
Hey, did you ever think like a year ago that you would want to play hockey?
No.
Or like, I guess even up to recent, because I was talking about wanting to ice skate like last fall.
Yeah.
But you probably counted yourself out of that activity until recently.
Yeah, I mean, even I went ice skating with you when you first got on the ice, and I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah. Well, those rental skates, I hear they're shitty.
Well, it's not even that. It's like for me, I've always struggled with activities where you're like generating momentum through like another thing. Like I never really learned to ride a bike properly. I have always wanted to roller skate, and I have roller skates, and I do roller skate occasionally, and I have like felt good on them, but like I don't feel super confident. And getting on the ice with you, I was just like, it's so hard for me to like relax You know, like there's like extra momentum that is like being generated.
Oh,
on
that's
ice
what I
skates.
love about it. I feel like when I first got on skates, I feel like I said to you, I was like, oh, this is how I move in my dreams. This is
You
how
did say
this is my
that.
ideal movement. This is how I feel. Yeah. But yeah, skating is how I feel in my dreams. So interesting that you had a different perspective on it.
Yeah, and I really loved what Sam was saying just on that, like, you don't have to have played hockey like in that aspect. Like you could just be a goalie. And I was like, that really resonated with me, not only because of the things I already talked about, but there was just like something about it that I was like, oh, like maybe I could do this, you know? And then the other thing too for me is that I really wrote sports off. Like by the time I finished doing sports as a kid, I was so burnt out and I was angry. My body hurt in a way that was like directly affected by the years that I spent swimming. And like I still have shoulder and like problems with my shoulders because of the way that I ended up treating my body while I was swimming. And so I just like was really burnt out. I also had like been bullied in sports because like swimming is not a team sport. And so you're competing against your teammates in a way that I think really fosters a really harsh like competitiveness. And going through puberty as a child and as like a girl, like girls are fucking mean. Yeah. So I think I had wrote off sports as something that was like in my past and something that I was like hurt by. And I didn't think that talking to people about hockey was going to make me want to play hockey and make me feel like safe to be a part of a team.
Yeah, Ray. I have thoughts, Ray. I'm just like,
it's okay. You can digest what I just said.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know when I started thinking of myself from a fan to a player, but that's happened for you recently, which feels like a very beautiful door opening. Because it's just seeing the game from a different perspective. And I know, a lot of people who grow up with like youth sports, including hockey where they lived, that it's like one and the same. You grow up playing, you understand the game, you become a fan of professional teams, you maybe even aspire to be a professional player. And that's not how. Yeah, hockey always seemed off limits, as we've talked about. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna try?
Like I close my eyes and I see myself as a goalie.
I think you should try.
I think I should try.
Yeah, I think you should try. I think there's people that, just like Sam was saying in her league, lend out the goalie gear. I've heard. Yeah,
I'm like I can
be hot on the trail for you. I can.
Yeah, as soon as you find people, like, because you just gotta put them in front of me. I'm not sure that I'm ready to go seek those people out yet.
Yeah, I'll find them easy.
I think if I was really, really going to do it, I have some work to do on like my hip mobility. I have like but that's like one of these things that I've just been like, yeah, I know I should do something about that, and now I finally feel motivated.
Yeah, it's a great motivator. Yeah. I mean, that's what kept me going in physical therapy for the last however many months it's been. Almost a year. Almost a year now. The main motivator was I want to learn to ice skate, which felt like so far away when I could barely walk. And I don't know, as soon as I started translating to I'm doing these movements for a purpose, and also that first moment of being on the ice and seeing the puck and knowing how I wanted to move my body and feeling my limitations, like it just all, the framework of it just really like spoke to me of like, oh, those wall sits mean that I'm going to be able to be in the correct stance longer. And that being in the correct stance is important because otherwise I'm putting strain on my back. And like it just all the parts are connected. So it's a great motivator. So yeah, I got to figure out how I'm going to move forward in learning hockey so that I can keep up the motivation, because that's what's been driving me.
Thanks, Gio.
We want to give a huge thank you again to Sam for sharing her time with us, for sharing her story, and also connecting us with some upcoming interviews. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. I also want to thank Sam's cousin, Brendan, for being so enthusiastic about our podcast and connecting us.
And if you are someone, or if you know someone who has a hockey story that you'd like to share, we would love to hear it, and you can reach out to us at goodstickgossippodcast@gmail.com.
I'd like to thank JoJo Nieves, aka El Paca, that's EL space PACA, for creating all of the music that you hear in this episode. You can check out his other original creations on Spotify and YouTube. I'd like to thank my friend Nathan over at Podcast or PhD for loaning us the equipment to record. I'd like to thank Ian of Bearded Audio for also loaning us some equipment to record and teaching me how to edit, and for assisting me in repairing some of the audio for this week.
I also want to thank all of our friends, family, and maybe even a stranger or two for listening to this episode of Good Stick Gossip. If you were a stranger, I hope you come back next time as a friend. And if you enjoyed this, we hope you follow along and come back for another one. And finally, I want to thank Ray. Couldn't do this without you. For real, for real. You're the brains behind this operation.
But you're my star.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make you a star, Gio, a star.
I'm bringing vibes and vibes only, and Ray brings all of the equipment and all of the technical know-how. I'm so lucky. Really.
I'm so lucky to have you.
Aw, so cute. I love you.
Oh my god, I love you.
Yeah, now you have that on record.
Wow. That's what I'm gonna put at the end of our episode.
No. Kirill Kaprizov is my baby girl.